The room was silent, save for the faint hum of the ventilation system. Across from Captain Marcus Ironclad Reynolds Saturday a tall, spindly figure, an alien of the TZKAL species, a race known throughout the galaxy for their brutal conquests. Its silver eyes gleamed with the cold confidence of a species that had never known defeat. The TZKAL leader, who called itself Warlord Zythrol, towered over Marcus, its mandibles clicking in a steady rhythm, a habit it displayed when it thought itself superior. Around them, the human military command center was filled with officers and diplomats, their faces tense with anticipation. Zythrol had come to Earth with a message it had delivered to countless other planets before annihilating them. "Humans," Zythrol began, its voice a guttural growl, translated through the universal translator. "You have been deemed a threat to the galactic dominion. Surrender now, and perhaps some of you will survive as labor. Resist, and you will be eradicated. It is not a promise, it is a fact, one proven by 1,000 worlds before yours." Captain Reynolds leaned back in his chair, unimpressed. He glanced at his fellow officers, all of whom were standing rigid, their faces betraying the weight of the moment. Earth was in peril, facing an alien force with technology far beyond their own. But Marcus seemed relaxed, almost amused. "And you think we're just going to roll over and let you take our planet?" Marcus said, a half-smile tugging at the corner of his mouth. Zythrol's mandibles clattered in a way that, if one were familiar with TZKAL culture, resembled amusement. "You misunderstand, human. This is not a negotiation. We have already decimated stronger species than yours. Your primitive weapons, your feeble defense in any of the matter. You are nothing. Submit and avoid unnecessary pain." The human officers exchanged glances, unsure how to respond. The aliens' threats had the weight of history behind them, but Marcus, he didn't flinch. "Is that it?" Marcus asked, standing up. His voice was casual, as though he were asking about the weather, not humanity's survival. "You came all the way across the galaxy, gave your little speech, and that's the best you've got." Zythrol recoiled slightly, its arrogance flickering into confusion. "Do you not understand the gravity of your situation?" "Oh, I understand just fine," Marcus replied, pacing around the room. "Say, I've heard about the TZKAL, tough warriors, fearsome reputation, but here's the thing, you've never fought us." The alien bristled. "You are insignificant compared to the power of the TZKAL armada." Marcus paused and locked eyes with the creature. "You sure about that? Because here on Earth, we have a saying, if you mess with the bull, you get the horns." Before Zythrol could respond, the lights in the room dimmed, and a massive holographic display flickered to life, revealing a vast fleet of TZKAL warships hovering in orbit above Earth. It was an intimidating sight-down scene of sleek, deadly vessels bristling with weaponry. "Behold," Zythrol said, spreading its arms wide. "Your destruction awaits in the skies above. In moments, my ships will..." Marcus cut him off with a wave of his hand. Yeah, I get it. Big scary fleet, doomsday threats, yada yada." He turned to one of the human officers and nodded. "Initiate Operation Dawn Strike." The alien warlord tilted its head. "What is..." Suddenly, the holographic display shifted. Instead of the TZKAL fleet dominating the screen, there was now a series of bright, blinking dots, hundreds of them moving swiftly toward the alien vessels. "What's this?" Zythrol hissed, eyes narrowing. Marcus crossed his arms. "Those, my friend, are our retaliation." Before Zythrol could react, the dots on the display connected with the TZKAL ships. In the next second, explosions lit up the hologram, one after another. The human officers erupted into cheers as the alien fleet, previously invincible in the eyes of the galaxy, was torn apart. The TZKAL warlord stared in disbelief as ship after ship was obliterated. "Impossible. How? Did you really think we'd just sit here and wait for you to wipe us out?" Marcus asked, his voice dripping with smug satisfaction. "We've been preparing for this day, ever since we got word of your little galactic conquest. You think we're primitive? Yeah, maybe by your standards, but humans adapt, we innovate, and we sure as hell don't go down without a fight." Zythro stumbled back, its confidence shattered. This cannot be. Marcus stepped closer to the alien, his voice low and dangerous. You thought Earth would be an easy conquest. You thought wrong. Now, let me make something clear to you. This isn't the end for you, it's the end for you. Run back to your empire. Tell them what happened here today. Tell them that humanity doesn't back down. The alien warlord's mandibles quivered in fear. It had never known defeat. Not like this. Not against a species that had been considered little more than an inconvenience. It turned, hurrying toward the door, desperate to escape. One more thing, Marcus called out, stopping Zythro in its tracks. Next time you think about threatening Earth, remember today. Remember that we're not the weaklings you thought we were. The alien looked over his shoulder, eyes wide with fear. Is that it? Marcus asked with a grin. You can't leave now. Zythro fled without another word, and the door slammed shut behind it. As the humans celebrated, Captain Marcus Reynolds took a deep breath, looking at the destruction of the TZKAL fleet on the screen. Mess with the bull. You get the horns, he muttered to himself, before joining his crew. Humanity had just sent a message to the galaxy, and it was one the aliens would never forget. HFY humanity. Yeah. Stories are a genre where humans are portrayed as resilient, clever, and ultimately a force to be reckoned with in the galaxy. In this tale, the TZKAL learned that firsthand and regretted ever thinking they could threaten Earth. The skies above Earth were still aglow with the fiery remnants of the TZKAL fleet. Ships that once symbolized terror across the galaxy were now reduced to burning wreckage, silently drifting in Earth's orbit. Down in the war room, Captain Marcus Reynolds watched the display with a cool satisfaction. The battle had been won, but he knew this was just the beginning. Reports from global stations are coming in, sir, Lieutenant Vasquez said, her voice filled with pride. No casualties on our side. The orbital defense is held, and all TZKAL ships have been neutralized. Marcus nodded, his eyes still on the holographic display. Good. Keep all systems on high alert. I don't think this is over. The room went quiet as the weight of Marcus's words settled in. The TZKAL were a powerful empire, and their retreat wasn't likely to be permanent. As the crew celebrated around him, Marcus couldn't shake a feeling that something bigger was on the horizon. Captain, a voice called from behind. It was Admiral Stone, a veteran who had overseen Earth's defense strategies for decades. He walked over, his expression serious but relieved. You've bought us time, but I don't think the TZKAL are the type to lick their wounds quietly. Marcus turned to face the Admiral, arms crossed. They'll be back, and next time, they'll come with a lot more firepower. Admiral Stone nodded grimly. We need to prepare. The TZKAL aren't used to losing. They'll likely bring the full might of their empire in retaliation. A voice chimed in from the command console. Sir, we're receiving an incoming transmission, one of the technicians said. It's from the TZKAL High Command. The room fell silent as the communication screen flickered to life, revealing the gaunt, insectoid face of a different TZKAL leader. This one was adorned with intricate armor and glowing insignias, signifying a rank far higher than Warlord Zythro. Its eyes gleamed with cold fury. Humans, the alien began, its voice dripping with disdain. I am Lord Verdict, Supreme Commander of the TZKAL Armada. You have made a grave error by resisting us. Your actions will not be forgotten. The full strength of the TZKAL Empire is already en route to your planet. This time, there will be no mercy. Your extinction is assured. The room tensed, but Marcus remained calm, a faint smirk tugging at the corner of his lips. You know, Marcus said, stepping forward, for a species that prides itself on being the dominant force in the galaxy, you sure do talk a lot. We already sent one of your fleets packing. What makes you think the outcome will be any different next time? Our Lord Vertex's mandibles twitched with barely contained rage. Your victory was a fluke, human, an anomaly. Our forces are beyond anything you can't comprehend. Marcus chuckled, leaning in slightly. Is that it? More threats? Let me guess, your next fleet is invincible, just like the last one. You dear Marcus, Vertex hissed, its eyes burning with anger. We will. No, Marcus interrupted, his voice suddenly cold. You will listen. You came here thinking we were weak, that we'd fold like every other species you've bullied. You underestimated us, and that was your first mistake. Vertok recoiled slightly, surprised by Marcus's boldness. We're not some helpless race waiting to be conquered, Marcus continued. We've been fighting each other for millennia, perfecting the art of war. You thought your technology would give you the upper hand, but you've underestimated our resilience, our ingenuity. We adapt, and if you think sending a bigger fleet will scare us, you're sorely mistaken. The alien leader's eyes narrowed. You will regret these words when our forces wipe your species from existence. Marcus's smirk returned. We're not the ones who are going to have regrets. The screen abruptly cut off as the transmission ended. The room remained silent for a few moments, everyone processing the conversation. Admiral Stone cleared his throat, breaking the tension. Well, he said, if they weren't pissed before, they definitely are now. Marcus shrugged. They were going to come back regardless. At least now they know we're not afraid of them. Admiral Stone smiled, a rare expression for the usually stoic leader. I like the way you think, Captain, but we need to be ready. Whatever force they send next, it's going to be massive. Then we'll be ready, Marcus replied confidently. We've already proven that we can take them down. Now it's time to take the fight to them. Admiral Stone raised an eyebrow. Are you suggesting an offensive? Marcus's eyes gleamed with a dangerous determination. Exactly. The TZKAL thing, they come rolling here and bully us. But we're going to hit them where it hurts. We take out their command structure, disrupt their operations, make them realize that Earth isn't just some backwater planet. We're a force to be reckoned with. A murmur of agreement rippled through the room. The idea was bold, risky, but it resonated with the crew. Humanity had always thrived under pressure, and now they had a chance to strike back. Admiral Stone stroked his chin. Considering the plan, we need to gather intel on their fleet movements, pinpoint their key installations. I already have a few ideas, Marcus said, but first, we need to buy ourselves some time. If we cut their supply lines or delay their fleet, we might have a chance to turn this war in our favor. Admiral Stone nodded. I'll authorize a recommission immediately. We'll need to move fast. If the TZKAL are as enraged as they seem, their reinforcements won't be far behind. As the room buzzed with activity, Marcus turned to his lieutenant. Vasquez, get the ship ready. We're heading out. Vasquez saluted, a wide grin on her face. Yes, sir. Ready to give these aliens another lesson in human perseverance. Marcus chuckled. Damn right. The battle for Earth might have been over, but the war was just beginning. And if the TZKL thought they could crush humanity with sheer force, they were about to learn the hard way that humans didn't just survive, they thrived in adversity. As Marcus watched the tactical display, he couldn't help but feel a surge of pride. The TZKL had picked a fight with the wrong species. Now, it was humanity's turn to show the galaxy just how dangerous it was to provoke them.